welcome to the third annual Home for the Holidays celebration and fundraising effort for Kids and Families Together. Hi, I'm Dave Daniels from 100.7 KHAY.
And I'm Wendy Lerian, Mrs. USA, and for 28 years, a foster and adoptive mom.
We want to thank you for joining us this evening. And for those of you who might be new to Kids and Family Together, we provide services to foster kinship, adoptive, and biological families throughout Ventura County.
Kids and Families Together works in partnership with the Ventura County Behavioral Health and Ventura County Social Services to provide services to the families and the children. It takes a village.
The impact of COVID over the past 18 months has put a hold on almost all the typical community fundraising events. But even though this challenging time, Kids and Families has been able to continue to offer full services to their children and families in need.
And in March of 2020, the entire agency transitioned in less than 1 week to working remotely from home, CME still taking care of the children and their families, which I'm still trying to transition. So
no kidding, right?
That was a feat.
But we're getting back to normal, and we hope that gathering would be together in person tonight, but decided against doing so because of the ongoing COVID uncertainty. So we want to thank you for joining us remotely this evening.
We hope you enjoy having the opportunity to meet the co-founders, the board chairs, some of the amazing staff here at Kids and Families Together, and hear from two families who've served these children.
And we want to remind you, follow the scroll at the bottom of the page, and you'll be able to help out by texting in a donation.
To KID, KID, to 41444. It's at the bottom of your screen.
And you're going to be hearing from two of our local elected officials and help us honor and acknowledge one of our newest community partners, Haas Automation. We're very grateful for the generous support and have received from that we've received from the Gene Haas Foundation, and of course, all the support from everyone over the past 18 months.
And there's a couple surprises for you, so you don't want to miss a thing. And we'd like to introduce you now to the Kids and Family Together's co-founders, Dave and Faith Freelander.
Hi, I'm David Friedlander, and I'm CEO and President of Kids and Families Together, and I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Sharon Watts-Woolley, and I have the honor and privilege to serve as the board chair for Kids and Families Together, and I just want to really thank all of you for joining us this evening.
And I'm Faith Friedlander, and I'm the clinical vice president of Kids and Families Together, and I'm also the co-founder of Kids and Families with David.
And I like to consider you the heart of the organization.
And you are the soul.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, I thought we'd give a little bit of, just a little bit of history about Kids and Families Together and how we were so fortunate to meet up with Sharon.
So I had a 27-year career at Ventura College, and in that capacity I served as the manager for economic and workforce development programs, and I managed all the training contracts for the county of Ventura, and I subcontracted with Kids and Families Together basically since their inception in the year 2000. So we have a really nice long history together.
Long history.
Very long history. And I retired from the college in 2015, and David gave me about 6 months off. And then I joined the board, and I've been serving as the board chair for the last 3 years now. So it's been just an honor and a privilege to be part of the organization. And in retirement, I've had the opportunity to really meet the staff and learn a lot more about the programs and attend a lot more events. And it's just really a lot of really, really good work happens in the organization and the families we serve in Ventura County.
And how lucky we are to have you.
Well, thank you.
I agree. And it all started in January of 2000 when we first opened the doors of Kids and Families Together. And always it was our dream to support families that have come together by birth, kinship, foster, adoption. And we wanted to do it in a way that supports them emotionally and physically, having loving relationships with one another.
And I think one of the things that makes us really unique is the fact that we don't work with just the child or just the parents, we work with the whole family. And I think that really makes us unique in terms of building those relationships and helping our families.
I agree. That our focus has always been on relationships, because if you've had a relationship split growing up due to trauma, emotional trauma, the only way that can be healed is in the context of a relationship, a loving relationship. Our goal to create what we call a loving village, both within our work family as well as all the families that we serve. We all need connection. Interconnectedness really is important.
And when you're talking about a village, you're meaning all of you out there are part of our village.
Exactly. We all need each other to keep things going and getting healthier.
And too, maybe you could talk just a little bit about some of the programs that we have that we.
Yes, well, we work with all families who are part of the child welfare system. We have contracts with the county to do that. And some of our programs are educational. Some of our programs are support, like we have peer partners for caregivers. We have mental health services, Medi-Cal for the children that we see. Often, of course, the children are dealing with a lot of loss and trauma in their lives. And then we have ongoing training programs for caregivers of both foster families and, I'll say a little bit about kinship families, because a lot of the kinship families are not part of the child welfare system. They're very informal, and throughout the years we've, I think, done a really good job of trying to find these kinship families, because they're often lost somewhere out there, and there's a lot of fear connected with it.
And they need a lot of support.
And they need a lot of support. And so that's been a large focus for us, are finding these relatives, primarily grandparents who are raising grandchildren, and being able to provide them with peer mentoring or Medi-Cal services.
And then in addition to our programs, we also have Giftaway Events throughout the year. So we have at least a minimum of 4, generally probably more like 10 to 12.
We just give away a bunch of shoes,
Right,
for
we just
example.
did shoes, and we have a holiday giveaway for pajamas, and we do school for backpacks, and the women that do these programs are just incredible. And it's the families that come, they've had to switch everything to drive-through events now, and it's just, they're very, very organized, and the families really get a lot of resources that they really, really need. So it's just very heartwarming to see these events and be able to be a part of them.
Welcome back. We want to remind you that this is a fundraiser tonight, and we want you to help out. There's a scroll at the bottom of the page. You can text to
KID, K-I-D, to 41444. It's that easy. You can also go on to kidsandfamilies.org, onto Facebook, or onto YouTube.
Kids and Family Together provides a number of educational programs and services to foster and resource families throughout Ventura County.
And as of September, there were 950 families in the welfare system for Ventura County. This also includes, as you just heard, Kinship Care, which could be grandparents, aunts, uncles, all working to keep the family together. Additionally, 76 kids were adopted during this time period. And although there's so much, the county finalizes approximately 76 adoptions in this time, there's so much needs for these kids. And I know, as an adoptive mom, the kids' needs continue. And that's exactly what Kids and Families does.
Foster and resource parents provide a home for children until such time they may be reunited with their biological parents. Now a few words from California State Assemblyperson Steve Bennett, District 37, and Kids and Family CEO David Freelander. Steve's a longtime advocate of foster children and their families, and it's a pleasure to have him here with us this evening.
Assemblyperson, State of California Assemblyperson Steve Bennett, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. We're going on our 22nd year, and we started close to the same time when
We
you
did.
were supervisor. How long
That's
were
right.
you supervisor?
20 years.
20 years, okay. So, so we've kind of grown up together here in California, you as supervisor, we as an organization, and I want to tell you, the county of Ventura has been really good to us, and we really appreciate the partnership that we've had with the county. And I know you have a real interest in foster kids. Is that right?
I sure do. Yeah, and I think the world of this organization. You guys have just been there steady, doing the important work and not looking for a lot of attention or honors or accolades, but the work you guys do is really important for these kids that are having trouble.
Well, it hasn't been about money for us, although we need money.
Right.
But, you know, it's certainly our passion, and it's been exciting, and I think you'll probably understand this. The whole foster care has changed so much in the last 20 years. I mean, when we first came into it, foster parents weren't allowed to talk to biological parents, not even know who they were,
Right.
and vice versa, you know, and now, you know, it's kind of acknowledged in the way it is that you can't have too much love and connection. So, you know, everybody knows who everybody is if it's safe and healthy to do so.
Right. And to have the foster parents actually both help the child and help the foster,
Exactly.
help the parents of the child
Exactly.
as role models and as support has certainly been better for the child. you know.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. You can't have too much love,
Right.
you know, but it takes more than love.
Right.
An area of interest for us is grandparents who are raising grandchildren,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of those aren't part of the child welfare system. So
Mm-hmm.
we've been fortunate to have a small contract from the county to provide some services for those folks. So we have a mentoring program for them, and we get very excited about that because that's a real unmet need. So as things come down through the state,
Let us
keep us
know.
in mind,
Yeah,
huh?
let us know. And, you know, I actually think that grandparents ought to get more support, ought to be treated like foster parents. I mean, they're actually the best foster parents we can usually
Absolutely.
find.
Yes.
They have a connection, the child feels the connection, and it's the best arrangement. And so we ought to support them in the same way that we would support strangers that were walking in to be foster parents.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to work on that.
Yes.
At the
Okay.
state of
Well,
California.
we are so fortunate to have you up at the state level. We're fortunate to have you anywhere. But, you know, having you at the state level, I can think can be nothing but good for everybody, all our kids and
Wow.
families.
Thank you. I just want to let you know how much I have admired, genuinely admired this organization. And there are very few, for lack of a better word, sexy perks that come with this job, right? Other jobs, you are high profile, something's going on, but this is just getting down there and working kid by kid, and to have this facility here, to have the professional clinicians that you have here, they're just, we can't measure how much good you're doing for these kids and how many lives you're turning around, and what a time to invest. You're going to invest in a human being when they're 60 and homeless, or are you going to invest in them when they're 6 and can be turned around and be productive? There's no
Absolutely.
question, right?
As I'm sure you know, any organization is only good as the people that work within the organization. And we have about 60 people now, and we have such a dedicated staff. And I joke with them, but it's also true. They really make me look good. And we've had people that have been here, you know, 8, 9, 10 years now. So we feel very fortunate to have the professional staff that we do have.
Well, keep it up, David. It was nice
Thank you,
meeting
Steve.
you and your wife here today.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
I've just recently become a part of Kids and Families Together. But Wendy here is an adoptive mom. She's got an amazing story. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. It's perfect that tonight's gala is called Home for the Holidays. It was during the holidays 28 years ago that I became a foster mom. And cannot make this up, but my first placement was a little boy born 2 days old, and I got him. He was born on Christmas Day. And I remember sitting there going, I've got all the love in the world for this child, but I don't have all the resources. And it's because of Kids and Families Together. It's because of the staff, the resources that they have, that this child or any child out there is able to get the physical therapy, the occupational therapy, the speech therapy, the direction of where to go for an IEP in school. It takes a village to raise these kids. And just like my son, he had some difficulties growing up. But you sit there and you want to help them, but when you work as a team, my son went on, even with his trauma in the beginning, went on and played high school football. He just served 4 years in the U.S. Navy, and he just got his first home here in Ventura County. He is my son, and we had a different start. We've created a great family, and we've had a great network, and it's because of having those resources. And that's why this is so important. When you donate, you're giving kids the skills to become part of a family, and you're giving the parents the ability to be the best parents they can for that child. So remember, donate KID 41444 and help these kids, help their families get the resources to be the best they can be.
And she's being very humble. She's not just a one-time adoptive mother. How many children have you adopted?
Let's see, I have 6, adopted 3. Just can't tell which ones are mine and which ones are adopted. They're all my kids. We work as a village. And
That's fantastic.
so thank you to all people that helped me raise my kids. Now it's your opportunity to help raise the kids in our community.
Kids and Family helped Renee and Joseph navigate the challenges they encountered in adopting their children. Here's their story.
Welcome this afternoon to the offices of Kids and Families Together. We're so happy that you were able to come and spend time with us this afternoon, Renee and Joseph. We appreciate it so much. We'd just like to find out a little bit more about your family, and if you could give us a brief introduction about the little girls and boys that are in your care right now.
So yes, thank you for having us here. Just a little bit about our family. So we are a family of 5. My oldest is 5 years old. Our middle child is 5 as well. And the baby is 4. Our 5-year-olds are not twins. They are only 2 months apart. It wasn't intended to have 2 so close in age, especially less than a year. We do refer to them as twins when we get asked.
And the fact that you have twins that are 2 months apart, that doesn't normally happen naturally. So I'm guessing that you're foster parents. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yes, we are. We are foster parents. We started off in 2014 just because we knew we were at a place to where we could provide a home, a healthy environment for kids that were in need in our local county. My husband and I had at that point already been married for over 10 years. And we knew that we had the love, not only the home, but love to give and to provide to a child. So we, one night, in the middle of the night, looked up the website, found our local Ventura County website, and watched the intro video. And that's how we started our journey.
Me and my wife were very motivated to do it, and it was really, really fun.
A little bit about Kids and Families Together. We've been offering services in the county for over 21 years. So that covers the time that you had your little ones in care. And can you tell me how you found Kids and Families Together?
Kids and Family Services came at a perfect timing because when we received our son, we were overwhelmed with a lot of things that were going on. Mm-hmm. And just to get that support from Kids and Family Services was so awesome because it was like it helped us understand, and they gave us the guidance and the help that we needed. They provided, and it was there for us. We were able to grow along with the therapist as well. I mean, she made it. We felt we were all strong and connected, and so I really enjoyed having Kids and Family Services as one of our biggest resources.
It does sound like an overwhelming time, and I'm so glad that Kids and Families Together was there for you when you needed them.
All I can say is that Kids and Family Services, I don't know what I would do without them because it was the best support ever.
And I want to interject, they were amazing. They still are amazing. I continue to use, just like Carrie mentioned, Heart to Heart, we're able to keep up and see some familiar faces. But all of these services that we received throughout 2 years, I believe we received for Kids and Family, was 2 years of services was for free. And just as my husband mentioned, it was services that weren't just pertaining to our son or working one-on-one with him. They included us as parents and included siblings. At some points, we were able to invite extended family in to work on sessions. So it's the support from you, the help that you make as donations, as donors to Kids and Family Together, supports families like ours that really did need the services at the time, because we seriously could have pulled out hair. It sounds funny, but it was a stressful time with a lot of things that we had going on with the kiddos. So thank you for the support, and we look forward to hopefully one day being able to take advantage of those services again, should we need.
And maybe your adoption story isn't done. You heard it here first from Joseph and Renee. Thank you so much. Please feel free to donate.
Haas Automation was founded in 1983. It is the largest tool builder in the Western world, manufacturing a complete line of CNC vertical machining centers, horizontal machining centers, CNC lathes, and rotary products.
And the Haas Foundation became Kids and Families' friend last year during the pandemic and during their 3-month meal distribution program.
And we have sincerely appreciated their support and generosity, and are pleased to present this year's Founder Award to the Gene Haas Foundation.
Faith and I are here with the Gene Haas Foundation, and we are so appreciative of the support that you have given us this year. It has done so much for the foster, kinship, and adoption kids that we work with and their families, and we are just so appreciative, and we want to give you this award this year.
Thank you. From the bottom of our hearts, we are so grateful to the Haas Foundation and how you've supported us in so many different ways.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate this. And on behalf of the Gene Haas Foundation and my colleagues, we are honored to be named as your Founders Award this year. We realize that Kids and Families Together do so many programs. The activity levels that you have for all the kids and the families impressed us. So we're very happy to support you and be a community partner with you, and thank you very much for this nice honor today.
And thank you.
And finally, what we were able to do with some of the money that you gave us, we were very much in need of a van to carry merchandise to our gift-aways, and I want to show you what that turned out and looks like.
Great. Woo! Woo! Very nice, very impressive.
Thank you, Gene Haas Foundation. And where do Jenny Footboy and Carrie Sandoval are two of our program managers. And can you tell a little bit about what we're doing with the Gene Haas Foundation funds, other than the obvious fan?
Well, they've really helped us carry through this year's events. We've now been able to provide much more to our families in need. So we're ever thankful to Gene Haas Foundation and this beautiful van. We already put it to work carrying 165 pumpkins over to our Harvest Festival, and it's already carried costumes, and it's going to do so much more for us, right, Jenny?
Yes, we're excited to be able to provide more durable goods to our families, which really helps them during hardship times. We're looking forward to our holiday giftaway. We'll be providing much needed toys and pajamas and more to our families who we serve. We're really excited about this van, and thank you to Gene Haas for your generous donation.
We're very happy to support you. You do a lot of good. Thank you.
And now a word from our gold level sponsor and community partner, Montecito Bank and Trust.
Dedication,
leadership, collaboration,
celebration.
These are just some of what defines community and what motivates us to ask, what's possible From providing financial education and security awareness classes to donating over $1.4 million and more than 5,500 volunteer hours each year, we are the community bank of choice. We are proud to stand with each of you, and we're eager to see what we can accomplish next together. Montecito Bank and Trust, behind every great community, is a great bank.
Now it's time to introduce James from the House of Magic. He's our producer and in-kind sponsor for tonight's event. He has put together this whole broadcast, and we're so grateful. And James, as an in-kind sponsor, thank you so much.
Ah, you're welcome.
He's a magician. You know that?
Did you say musician or
No, I
magician?
said magician.
Yeah,
Magician with the hand.
See, I am a magician, but everybody would always say, "Are you a musician?" So I took up drums so that I could say yes. So
Okay.
I wouldn't have to be embarrassed.
No sneakiness. We're
No
watching.
sneaking. Okay, so we have to use our imaginations quite a bit, especially with COVID, being isolated from people, and doing things like this where you wish there was an audience out there, but we're talking to cameras.
Yes.
And so we have to imagine that there's actually people in the audience. So I understand from a study that I saw that there's actually a technique that our brains are processing, and we are becoming more creative people, more being able to use our imagination. So I want to do a test.
Okay.
Go
Can I
for
do a
it.
test?
You
All right.
trust him?
I'm watching.
Okay.
You're watching. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually do a card trick,
Okay.
but we're going to do a card trick with an imaginary deck
Okay.
because we're going to test our imagination.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to toss this deck to you, and I just want you to catch it.
Okay.
I'll give you a little toss. It won't be much. Oh, that was great.
Great. Okay.
Wendy, would you pick it up by his foot? He didn't really catch it. We were close. I know. I understand. It's see, you just dropped it anyways because you're not holding anything anymore. Wendy, just hand it to him. Okay. Those cards they're in a box. I didn't throw like all 52 at you. So take the box. Just set the box down on the mantle.
You want me to take him out of the box?
Yeah, take them out of the box and
Okay.
just put the box on the mantle. Now fan through those cards. Make sure they're not marked in any way.
No, they look good.
They're not marked.
Not marked.
That's good because they're invisible.
Okay.
Just kidding.
We're catching on.
Okay. All right. So here's what you're gonna do.
It's getting hot in here.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the fire is like roasting our tush. So here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna pan out those cards.
Okay.
Wendy, you are gonna select a card from the deck. You're gonna look at that card, memorize the card, show it to the camera so that everybody from the audience can see what card you selected. Then you're gonna take that card, you're gonna put it face up in the deck. Then Dave, you're gonna shuffle those cards and put them back in the box. Now I'm gonna turn around because I obviously I don't want to see what card you
Right,
select.
right.
So I'm gonna turn around. Go ahead and
Take a card.
yeah. See, Dave's done this before.
All right.
Got it. Okay. Show it to the camera.
Show it to the camera.
I think you should turn it around so they can see what it is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now, did you memorize it?
I did.
Okay, good.
I know what it is.
All right.
Now you want me to shuffle it back in
Face,
the deck?
yeah, it's face up in the deck.
Face up in the deck. Yeah.
Face up. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Shuffle. Put them back in the box.
Okay. Put it back in. Okay.
Okay. All right. Toss. Light toss. Woo. Okay, good. That was such a gentle.
Wait a second here.
You
And
know,
I was watching.
I know I could stop right there. That would be pretty
That would-
amazing,
yeah,
wouldn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
But it'll be even more amazing if I can find your card. The
Uh-huh.
only card that was turned over. Now, you and the audience saw what the card was. I obviously did not. So for the very first time, Wendy, what was the card you selected?
A 4 of hearts, because if you want to donate, you go to KID to 41444.
She's thinking about it.
Yeah, I obviously didn't put that much thought into it because I wasn't going with the 4 of hearts at all. I mean so the 4 of hearts was,
Uh-huh.
and unfortunately, normally when I do this in a live audience, I can pretend like the audience didn't hear what they said, and I can say, "Oh, the Ace of Hearts," and
Four
yeah,
of hearts.
but everybody clearly heard that you said the. Would you be absolutely amazed that the 4 of hearts was the only card turned over in the deck?
There's no way.
I'd be pretty amazed too. So, that one card that you saw turned over,
Yeah.
a joker. Second one standing next to you.
Ah!
Ooh, okay.
Not only is he a magician, he's a comedian.
Oh, yeah. All right, Wendy. So you said the 4 of hearts, right?
Yes, sir.
When you see a card turned over, you just yell stop. Do you see a card
Stop.
turned?
Yeah, I see
Oh, you do?
it.
Okay. Come over.
No
and
way.
just pull out that card.
Serious?
Yeah. Pull it out. And
No way!
Show them. That's James from the House of
Oh
Magic.
my gosh. Okay.
Wow.
Oh,
you don't get to keep the card.
that was
Next
All right.
stop for James is America's Got Talent.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so there's your first clue. If you want to donate right now, what is it? We go to KID, K-I-D, to 41444. Okay,
Awesome.
that
And
is so cool.
have a heart, donate generously.
Yes,
Yeah.
do it for the kids, do it for all the foster parents out there and all the kinship parents that are taking care of these kids.
And Wendy, you got to give up the card.
That is so amazing.
I know you want to keep it. That's coming home with me.
Were
You
you
can
watching?
keep the
You're
kiss.
supposed
I
to
was
be watching.
watching. I was watching. That was pretty good.
Whoa.
We're speechless now because that really, I mean, we didn't rehearse that at all. James just came up here and did
my,
that.
there was no way.
That was really good.
Bravo.
Thank you.
All right, James. Thanks for doing the broadcast for us tonight, and thanks for blowing our minds.
Okay, go. Oh. The center.
Huh?
The middle.
Center.
The middle.
Okay.
We're on. Hi, my name is James Lantine, and welcome to the House of Magic. I've been asked to describe everything that we do here within 30 seconds. So, here I go.
We're still rolling.
Whew. Looks like I did it. Any questions?
To your right. Your other right.
Oh.
Now, it's our pleasure to introduce to you Rachel Fletcher and one of her favorite coworkers, Charles.
Sit. Good boy. Hi, my name's Rachel. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I'm one of the managers at Kids and Families Together. And this is Charles, our therapy dog, and my favorite coworker. Charles has been loving on K&FT staff and clients since 2017. He is a canine good citizen and a certified therapy dog through Love on a Leash, and he thinks he has the best job in the whole world. Charles spends his days roaming around the office, greeting people at the front door, hanging out with families in the lobby, and going door to door, visiting his coworkers and looking for treats. Charles helps create a warm and welcoming environment when families come to the office or at our Giftaway Events. He puts a smile on everyone's face and just puts people at ease. A lot of the families that we work with are coming to us at a time when they might be really stressed out, overwhelmed, maybe even in crisis, and are needing a lot of support. And the children that we work with have all experienced trauma. So I think seeing Charles just puts people at ease, helps them lower their guard and feel safe. I remember a coworker of mine, also a therapist at Kids and Families Together, sharing a story with me about a client of hers who'd been waiting in the waiting room for her, and Charles went right up to the mom and rested his chin on her lap, and she just melted into him and started crying. And she shared how normally Charles would go to her son, but that day she had been so stressed out and overwhelmed, and Charles went straight to her, and she felt like he just knew what she needed and was so sweet and comforting with her. And she shared how special that felt. We also have a book in our lobby with Charles's adoption story and some pictures of him growing up, and not to minimize the real struggles that a lot of adoptive families face, but I think it just helps start the conversation and validates the big feelings and questions a lot of adoptees have, as well as modeling the importance of
staying connected and adoptees having information about their birth families. Make sure you check out Charles's column in our quarterly newsletter called Chit Chattin' with Charles, so you can stay connected with us and find out what Charles has been up to.
Let's say hi to Charles. Charles, come here. Sit down. He's a good boy. Sit. Sit. Oh, what a wonderful dog this guy is. He just wants treats. He's chomping away.
And he's watching the ticket taker too to see, kid 41444. You want 4 treats? You want one? Oh, see, yes. You tell him, say hi. You are so well behaved. Oh my goodness.
He's a bear.
Charles, you put a smile on anyone's face.
All right, Charles. Thanks for coming out today. Maybe we can get some treats over there. And
Okay, just have them. Because you're too cute, Charles.
Bye-bye. Thanks for coming by, Charles. We're having a good time here tonight, and we're raising money for Kids and Family Together. Once again, you can text on the text line.
To KID to 41444.
Kinship Care, sometimes referred to as relative care, is the full-time parenting of children by grandparents, other relatives, neighbors, or friends of the family.
Kinship care is often necessary when kids' parents are in treatment for addiction challenges. They're unable to meet their parent responsibilities. It's also necessary in cases of domestic violence. There are situations where the parent may be incarcerated, become ill, or passes away.
There's formal kinship care that involves public agency jurisdiction and oversight, and informal care that is provided by family members who do not enter the child welfare system and may end up becoming legal guardians or adoptive parents of the child.
And as we said earlier, it takes a village, and Kinship Care is working as a village to keep these families together. While we cannot say the numbers of formal kinship care that are in the county, it's quite likely that the numbers of these providers is significantly underreported. These situations are frequent and common-based, and they need to keep families together. The best way is to support all the people taking care of these children.
These families are frequently in need of a lot of help, and it's now our pleasure to introduce Matt Levere, Ventura County Board of Supervisors, District 1, as he has a conversation with Kids and Families Together CEO David Freelander.
Matt Levere, thank you very much for coming and celebrating. I think this is our 22nd year. I could have never imagined that we would still be around 22 years. But we're around, and thanks to the county, you being one of our great supervisors now. We feel very fortunate to have you as partners, and thank you for coming.
Yeah, I'm honored to be here. It really is a momentous occasion to celebrate. Yeah, I grew up in Ventura and Ojai. I've been here my whole life, and so I've recognized the work that you've been doing the past 20 years, and I think about it a lot more recently. Because, coming out of the pandemic, we've all had such a challenging last 18 months. But when you really think about it, it's our kids who I think really felt the brunt of these COVID impacts. And I think now more than ever, it's so important that they have these resources and this support, and that's where you come in.
Nurturing families, families that nurture them, and being, not being stuck in the home so much, I'm sure has been really challenging.
The isolation, the being away from school, from friends, parents being gone more. Locally, it's hard to afford to live here, and parents are working several jobs, and there's so much that the kids in our community need now, and it takes nonprofits like Kids and Families Together to really fill those gaps.
One area that we've found that there's a lot of need, and we've really started specializing in, we do have county contracts where we work with all the resource parents and foster kids. But we have a lot of relatives who are raising relative children now who don't have any resources available to them. We do have one small county contract that lets us provide services for them, but it's, and I'm sure the census is really going to, when we had those figures, it's really going to point out how many grandparents and other relatives are actually raising relative children. And parenting the first time around was challenging. Parenting a second time around, I can't imagine it. I mean, certainly I'd step up and do it with my grandchildren if I had to do it, but I can't imagine it. That's not what I thought I would be doing at this time in my life. Yeah. I didn't think I'd be doing this either, but
I have two little girls. I have a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old. And so I know that the difficulties and the challenges of parenting. And I see, my parents, as they get older, it'd be hard for them to do what I'm doing. And, one of the things that I've always appreciated about what Kids and Families Together does is the emphasis both on the kids through the counseling, the mentoring, the services, but really that second parallel focus on parents and caregivers and building that edge of the spectrum. Because when you put them together, you create strong families. And that's what's so important.
Absolutely. And so many of these kids, come from a position of having trauma in their lives. So having caregivers that understand that trauma and can work with it, is especially important. And that's what we want to do. We are very trauma focused. So, and we want to really give those caregivers the tools they need to work with somebody that can be very challenging children.
And you're talking about changing. You're obviously changing the lives of children. But when you think about creating a child and preparing a child for the future, you're impacting his or her children and their children, and you're talking about a generational change by just starting with a young kid right now. And that's why it's so important that we reach these kids early and give them the support and the help they need.
A lot of times, more national kind of funding or foundations that do funding don't, because they think we're local, we don't get funding from them. And all these kids that we're helping now are going to be spreading out all over the world. So I feel we do have an impact past Ventura County. Mm-hmm. So, I always think about that and try to remind some of the funding sources that is what happens.
Yeah, you do. Kids move, and you talk about funding. I often get asked, what does government do? And government obviously plays a huge role in this, but government alone isn't going to address all of the needs, and that's why it's so important that we have nonprofit partners like you to work with us. And that takes money. I get that, but I tell people when the government's doing programming, when the county's doing programming, we're investing in our youth. And what a better investment than that. And it's the same thing, investing in Kids and Family Together. You're investing in our youth and the next generation. And what a better way to spend your dollars.
And we're so happy that we have the county as a partner and have the county that is so progressive as our county. And we really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a great partnership, and I hope 20 more years.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce to you Pam Letona. She's a grandmother and kinship caregiver who shares her story of how she and her husband Bill became parents for the second time around when their adult daughter was unable to care for her own children due to drug addiction issues.
Good morning, Pam. Thank you so much for joining us at the offices of Kids and Families Together. We appreciate your time that you're going to spend with us this morning. Can you tell us a bit about your caregiving and what led you into caregiving your second set of children, your grandkids?
Well, I came to caregiving when my oldest grandchild was 3 years old. Her father was killed in a work-related accident. And within a year, my daughter, who had a history of drug abuse, was back using methamphetamines. So from 3 to 7, we lived the agony of worry about her. So when she was 7 years old, my daughter actually left her at my house and didn't come back for her. We couldn't find her, so I went to court and got temporary guardianship. That temporary guardianship went to permanent guardianship. So we were raising her, and she was lonely. She wanted a sibling, and she kept saying, "Grandma, can we adopt or can we foster? I want a sibling." And I said, "Honey, a baby would have to be dropped at our doorstep." We're on vacation, and we got the phone call that my daughter had given birth to another baby. We left our vacation and came home and picked her up at 12 days old. We did everything we could for her. She was exhausted because she was a meth baby, had every single drug in her system that you can imagine. But she was a miracle, and she was perfectly formed, perfect brain, but she was tired. So I did not have any help from any of the social services. This was in San Diego at the time. So we just did everything we could. I kept saying, what are the effects of the meth? And nobody really gave me any answers. Eventually, we moved to Ventura. I'm driving down the road and I moved my head. I could not believe what I saw. I turned around and I saw Kids and Families Together, kinship programs. I couldn't believe it. So it took me about a month to muster up enough strength and to give them a call. I was nervous and I called and I talked to a very, very nice, welcoming woman who told me all about Kids and Families. She told me about the services that they have. She told me about the counseling that they have. She told me about the giftaways that they have. She met with me in person and made me feel so comfortable. So we took advantage of the services. My daughter and I went to counseling together. We had a good time. The therapists were fabulous. We went and participated in the giftaways. They came at the perfect time. And we just were so supported and not alone anymore. So then my daughter gave birth to another baby, but that was, and she was able to keep her until CPS was called. And we had to really think about whether we could take her as well. She came with so much trauma and so much pain and so much hurt that I wasn't sure that we could handle it. So I went back to Kids and Families and sought out help. They did. They gave me clinical advice. They gave me therapy. They helped me understand how trauma affects children, how drug abuse affects children. And when she was 5 years old, she came to live with us. And subsequently, we adopted her at age 7. From the beginning, we were able to receive the therapeutic services. My husband and I received help. My children with us received counseling. We also spent a good deal of time here at the offices of Kids and Families getting support. Kids and Families sent their therapist to our home for 12 weeks at a time. We spent time with therapists. We wouldn't have been able to do any of this without Kids and Families. The people that support Kids and Families in the community are invaluable. I am so grateful for Kids and Families because they have helped us, and now we are not alone. We always know that we have somebody to go to at different times when things pop up that we don't expect, because children who come from trauma, children who come from abandonment, always will need help, and so will their parents.
Pam, you shared with us so many amazing stories, and we're so happy to have served you at Kids and Families Together over these last several years. Can you let me know where everybody in your family is now?
Well, my little one, who's not so little anymore, she's my firstborn grandchild is 25 years old. She's working full-time. She's going to school full-time. She is studying to be a teacher. My second grandchild, who we got when she was 12 days old, and we adopted when she was 2 years old, she's full of life, having so much fun. She's getting ready to go to homecoming. She's 15 years old. My third grandchild, who is we got when she was 5, adopted when she was 7, is doing great. She's in 8th grade now, and she is so much different than she was when we first got her. We're still working with all of them because trauma affects people forever. And so we come back to Kids and Families for therapeutic help. We come back for advice. I talk to Faith every once in a while. get some advice from her. She's so encouraging. I cannot tell you how helpful Kids and Families has been in my life. The problem is that when you're a kinship caregiver, you feel very much alone. And I still do, even though I have kids and families. But out in the world, people don't understand. They don't understand the difficulties there are for us as seniors to keep working. We'll work probably till the day we die because we want to raise them. We want to provide for them everything that they need. And Kids and Families really helps us with all of that.
Love hearing those stories and hearing how the children have grown up. And that's what this is all about. We're raising money for Kids and Families Together tonight. And you can help out by simply just texting this number.
KID, K-I-D, to 41444. It's that easy.
It's that simple. And you can help create these happy stories because Kids and Families Together is helping bring families together. And they offer a number of giveaway events for families throughout the year. And with the onset of COVID, these events have been transformed into drive-through events to keep staff members, volunteers, and families safe. And there's a person here that knows all about these events because she participates in them and she helps out. Wendy, tell us about the different drive-through events that you've been a part of and what they do here at Kids and Families Together.
Absolutely. Well, just like we have felt like our lives have been turned upside down during COVID, a lot of these kids and their families feel the same into this foster care. And what Kids and Families Together has done, and I've seen firsthand over almost the last 2 years, is these special events to give normalcy, not just to the child, but to the whole family. It's treating the whole family, it's giving them all a sense of normalcy and showing them our love and support. The Harvest Festival, the Cozy Holidays, the Spring Fling, the Bike Rodeo, the Backpack Giveaway. They're amazing moments that for a moment you realize everything just seems normal. Kids are waving out of windows, but we are putting stuff in the back of the trunk. Some of the kids maybe watching tonight don't realize who I am, but I've been Olaf, I've been an 8-foot panda. I love dressing up and getting behind the mask because I think when we're all behind that mask, you forget that the world keeps going. And I can go behind and watch the mask through the costume and see these kids light up. Their parents have that stress out of their body, being at these events, and having that support is so important for the whole family.
And they serve a lot of people. Over 500 families are served. You told me a story the other day about a new coat for a young lady. Tell me that story.
It is. It's they get to get out of the car and they're not second-class kids. They're not being thrown a jacket and saying, here, you're size 8, here's your jacket. It's get out and here's a rack of beautiful coats. Which one would you like? They still have tags on them. The Halloween costumes are perfect in bags, and these kids aren't saying, well, here, no, what would you like? What makes you feel special? Who are you? And I see that at these events time and time again. And that's why it's so important, because these events are also therapy for the kids. They're resources for the parents to get the supplies they need so that they can help the whole kid with Kids and Families Together.
Help them to develop their own personality and their own choosing what they want in life and giving them their own individuality. And that's what it's all about. Kids and Families Together provide a wide range of services to include resources for families in need, but equally important, focus on emotional support and relationship building that trained professionals offer. Some families need more levels of support than others.
And Kids and Families' goal is to wrap, again, all the resources around the families they serve. Again, not just the child, but it's the whole family. It's how they heal. We want to be able to help the children become emotionally successful and make the families whole.
Now, another message from our co-founders and board chair.
COVID has really impacted how we serve our families, because we haven't all our fundraising activities we have not been able to do. So it's been 18 very dry months of not being able to do much fundraising. So
It's a huge challenge for us, and one that we're trying to figure out how to overcome. And David was talking about the kinship families, and what we see with our kinship families is they're not part of the child welfare system, so we don't get any resources to help those families. So that's a big need for us, is to really be able to provide those in-depth services, and we just need resources to make that happen.
And I think what I want to add, as somebody who works on the clinical part of it all, is how much this pandemic has really hurt our families emotionally and mentally, and how much more care everybody is needing due to the pandemic. And hopefully we're beginning to have life again outside of just being home. But it's been really a very tough 18 months for everybody. So I agree with you. There's even more need for help right now to keep services going for all of our families.
And I think too, it really speaks well to the strength of the organization. I mean, our staff really stepped up during COVID and had to kind of turn everything on a dime to go online, and that's been a real challenge. And it's, I'm really proud of the work that's been done, but we do need help. We're struggling right now.
So we were talking about how important it is that we create a loving village for our families in order to help them heal physically and emotionally. And also, we need this loving village to include all of you so that we can keep providing the services that are so very important to kids and families together, and to our community, our Ventura County community, children and families.
And we also would appreciate if we could be one of your 3 nonprofits that you might donate to this year. That would be wonderful.
And if you can't do that, just being a part of us emotionally, just sending good energy to what we're doing at Kids and Families is a value as well for us.
And we just want to thank you for anything you can do to help. And I'd like to personally invite you to come down anytime if you feel like you'd like to come down and have a tour of Kids and Families together and see our facility, meet some of our staff, get to know us better. We would love to have you do that. We would love to have you be more formally part of our family. And we sincerely appreciate you joining us tonight.
We love our building.
Yes. It's a very warm environment where it's very inviting. So I agree.
Well, I think you'll see, Kids and Families really has a heart and soul, and you see it, you feel it in the culture and the organization. So it's really worth to come down and have a tour and meet some of our staff in person.
Come on over. And thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, this has been a great evening, and we're getting close to the end, but I wanted to bring Faith up and let you just get a chance to talk to her. I wanted to thank her for allowing me to come on and be a part of this. The warmth that you exude when you come into this building, you can sense the love, and I just want to thank you for that. Like you said, it takes a village, and you've got an amazing team that works here, and there's so many people to thank tonight.
Oh, thank you, Dave, and thank you, Wendy, and thank you everyone who joined us tonight. I've said pretty much what you all need to hear, but I really want you all to know how grateful I am that you're all with us tonight. I hope everyone sees that we are authentic in what we do, that we really care about the families that we serve. We have an amazing staff, we have an amazing community, and I'm just so grateful for this loving village that just keeps growing and growing and growing. So thank you, everyone.
And please donate tonight. Again, it's easy. Text KID to 41444. As an adoptive and a foster mom, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate being able to raise my kids with the services I needed to let them be their absolute best. And what you do with your staff is beyond a loving village. You're changing the village. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Wendy. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everybody.
There.
Mwah.